I think the first symptoms I experienced were very powerful and irrational thoughts that I couldn't control. I was doing my final examinations at university, and I suddenly got the overwhelming feeling that I would not be able to control my hand. I had the thought that I wouldn't pick up the pen. Now, 99 times out of 100, if I'd had that thought in my previous existence, I would have just shrugged it off. I think that's a ridiculous thought. But for some reason, I couldn't shrug it off. And I actually believed that I might act on it, and that was very distressing. And suddenly I started getting these thoughts more and more often. And in the end, I couldn't even speak in front of 10 people because I was so afraid that I'd not be able to. Depression is literally, or my experience of anxiety is literally not being able to switch off. Having an event that you're afraid of in the future, but it being that you have to deal with that now, 10 weeks in the future, and it's very hard to explain that, but 10 weeks of anxiety, of feeling really frightened is horrendous. You can't look forward to anything, you can't get enthusiastic about anything. You don't really want to meet up with friends, there's no point. I wouldn't shave for days on end, for weeks on end, because I didn't feel, I didn't have any pride in my appearance, because I was so focused in overcoming my depression. I was so preoccupied with what was going on in my head that nothing else really mattered. When you hit rock bottom, you think, you've got to do something, because you've got no choice. First thing that the doctor suggested was medication, and that was very helpful for a number of years. Eventually, for reasons I don't know, the tablets were no longer that effective for me, and the symptoms returned. And this time there was nowhere to go because I'd already exhausted all the medication options. And this time I had to do it, I had to get better through psychological therapy. I think my recovery began with accepting small victories, if you like, and say, well, obviously my aim is to have a good quality of life. How will I go about having a good quality of life? And just setting very small goals each day. For example, recently I spoke for only 5 minutes, but even so, I spoke in front of 200 people in a pre-planned talk, and that would have been impossible 3 years ago. I'm involved in managing computerised cognitive behavioural therapy projects in Manchester for self-help services. Our project is all about trying to get this therapy available to more people so that they don't have to take medication, or that medication isn't the only option. Now I have a very good quality of life. Occasionally I'll have a day where I feel exactly like I did a few years ago, but now it tends to last 24 hours, and within 24 hours the symptoms start clearing up and I feel normal again.